you're just joining, if you are just joining the Revenue Challenge, I want to welcome you. If you're just joining, go on the chat and say, just joining, hi, 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 hi. Go say hi if you're just joining so that we can see the highs and we know that you're just joining. If you're in VIP with me and you haven't been on until now in VIP, they're on the Zoom with me. Go ahead and say hi as well so I can see who's brand new today. And then if you've been on the Revenue Challenge yesterday or the day before, first and foremost, I'd love you to go in the chat and let us know, have you been having some big aha moments, right? I'm just curious, is anybody having some big aha moments? Say yes or no in the chat. It's really powerful for me to get that feedback as someone who's leading this content, bringing some of my friends, like I have somebody super powerful that's coming to train you today. We like to see the feedback on what's going on. Is this communication landing? Are you learning something new that is helping you monetize your life, your business, really having a better quality life? I want to hear from you. So please go in the chat. Don't stand idle and watch. I mean, we definitely know that when people consume the content live, and you're engaging, that the statistic is you actually retain 35% more of the information. Take that in for a second. 35% of the information is retained more than if you watch the replay. So if the people are going to be watching this replay afterwards, at least you're getting the content. But if you can be live tomorrow, that would be really powerful. So here's a quick hook. Tomorrow, we're going to be teaching about webinar funnels. Today, we're going to be teaching about how to actually monetize your online events. We were just talking to Spencer here on VIP before we went live about his chiropractic company. And he's like, so how do I get people to feel safe about coming into my chiropractic company? And I said, well, are you doing like half-day events, like presentations or educational seminars? Are you doing any of those things for your customers or your clients, the people, your patients that would come into your office? And he said, no, I wasn't even thinking about that. And I'm like, okay, listen, I'm not going to give the goods on that because Barry's going to come and train. But you want to be thinking outside the box. Entrepreneurs, our life is a pivot. Our life is a pivot, right? COVID wasn't the only pivot. If we're really honest, we are pivoting when somebody gets sick in our life. Am I correct? Yes or no? We are pivoting when, unfortunate divorces happen, or, somebody in our life needs us more. Maybe you've just had given birth and you've got a baby or twins at home and you're like, I'm trying to figure out how to do all of this at once. Or maybe you're just a normal human being that life is big and juggling everything. It sometimes feels like you got the world on your back and you're the one carrying it. And so I know you because I am you. We are all entrepreneurs. And the truth is we are all always pivoting. So I want to take a moment and I want to acknowledge the person who did the homework. Well, a lot of you did the homework last night, but I want to acknowledge the winners. So 2 people, I'm going to be buying you lunch for the next 60 days. Who's excited about this? Do you think it might be you? I want to see, I'm a real big believer in manifesting, and I think miracles happen to people who actually stand up and claim them. So who thinks they're going to win this? John, you better be in the chat talking right now. Who thinks you're actually going to win this? So, okay. We were watching the homework last night in the Facebook group. It was epic. You guys rock, seriously. 2 people won lunch from me for the next 2 months. Elena Davidson, where are you? Elena Davidson, you guys give her some love in the chat. Say congratulations, Elena Davidson. And Sarlet, is it Sarlet? Sarlet. So real quick, Jess, come here. Tell me why we chose them.
Hi, everyone. We chose you both. Thank you so much for participating, first of all.
Yeah.
And then second of all, we chose you both because you had given the most inspiring responses and really thought into it on the Facebook page. Cool. And just it seemed like it really moved you from yesterday, and the empathy model really gave you the vision that you needed. So yeah, we love both your responses. So thank you for participating and hope you like your lunch.
All right. So Jess will be reaching out to you and Suzanne will be reaching out to you to make sure that we get you set up for your lunch. So without further ado, can we light up the chat right now? If you're watching us on YouTube, welcome. If you're watching us on Facebook, welcome. If you're here in VIP with me, welcome. I want to take a moment and I want to invite a really close friend of mine, Barry. Can we bring Barry up for a second? Barry, you guys hi baby, how are you? It's so good to see you. So I'm very excited for you to come train. Barry and I, if I turn the cameras around and put my patio fire table there, the last time we got to hug and see each other was actually just right before COVID released, and we were like sitting at our table, probably drinking a little bit too much wine and enjoying food and laughing our heads off as we were planning our trip to the south of France that we still haven't taken. So that being said, we're going to get our trip on the books. And you guys, one of the things that I would say is really powerful about being able to dig into Barry's mind is that she had a vision and a dream to create this company, and her husband built an incredible event company. But they also carved a piece of the market out by paying attention to what does their audience really need? And their audience is you. Their audience is people who, Spencer, if you're a chiropractor, just to move it to do some virtual events or some presentations. Don't get caught up on the word retreat or seminar or presentation or webinar or 3-day event. They're all of them are just presentations, right? They're all just a virtual presentation online. She knows all of us so well. She knows what works. She knows what doesn't work. She's been able to take some of our really, powerful people online like Russell and take an event that maybe was struggling that now is crushing it, right? You don't put that into, sometimes you don't take that into account. You're like, oh my gosh, Russell running ClickFunnels, he's amazing and super talented. He needs help too. So do you. I need help too. Tony Robbins needed help pivoting too. We all need each other. And someone like Barry, because she sees all of our events, and she knows what monetizes, and she knows what could be a cluster F, right? Like an idea that seems like a great idea that when you launch it, it falls flat. Anybody ever experienced that? Go in the chat, call yourself out. Have you ever literally tried to launch an idea and it fell flat? Yes or no? Okay, so you need to not sit by and not put yes or no, because everybody needs to know that they need someone like Barry to be able to help them think through it. So she is the secret sauce behind a lot of our events. I could rattle off like hundreds of names of people that you are learning from currently online that she is behind their events. So she's learned from all of our offers. She has enhanced all of our offers. And as a team, we make a big difference in the world because of people like you, Barry. So I love you and thank you for continuing to refine your craft. So before we get rolling, Barry, just share really quickly. I want to ask you a couple of questions, and I'm going to release you. But do you want to just share a little bit about when your company, when everything, you were doing a lot of live events, right? And for an entrepreneur watching right now, that's just like, shit, like maybe they pivoted or maybe they didn't, right? You guys go in the chat right now. Who's still struggling, right? Who's still struggling to pivot your company? Right? Just put me if you're still struggling, right? And so we got to get good at the pivot. And so even though she runs events and presentations online, let's talk to her first as a woman, as a wife, as a business owner. How scary was that for you when it went from live events to everything locked down within a couple months?
Yeah, it's such a great question. Well, first of all, thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here and welcome everybody. It's so good to see you. If you see me looking in multiple places, I'm actually here in my studio, so I can see your chat. I can see you. So I'm looking at you if it looks like I'm looking away. But yeah, it was super scary. I mean, listen, we are a live event company. We do 30 plus live in-person events a year for some of the biggest names in the industry. And we were literally, my husband Blue and I were on a plane flying to Miami to an event when everything was swirling around COVID. And, listen, we fly a lot. So we are Diamond members. It's a dubious honor. It means you fly way too much, but it also means you get upgraded a lot. And we were flying to Miami and we didn't get upgraded to first class. And I'm like, I don't really think COVID's a thing. I looked at them like, there's all this talk about COVID. When we don't get upgraded, that means the airport's busy, the flight is busy. Like, I don't think this COVID thing is for real. And then we were at the event in Miami, and Trump was forced to lock the country down. And we flew home from Miami on a completely empty flight. It was like Blue and I in first class and like two other people in the whole plane. And I looked at him like, now it's a thing. Like now Houston, we have a problem. And we literally had 2 weeks to pivot. Our very first next live event was supposed to be in Indianapolis the first week of April. And as you know, the country was shut down in mid March. And like Shanda said, like, who knew that was gonna be the last time we'd like hug each other for over a year, sitting on your patio? We had no idea. So, literally we had 2 weeks to pivot. And as Shanda's mentioned, as entrepreneurs, it is what you do. It's a muscle that you build, right? It's like you're constantly pivoting. But this was a big pivot, right? A significant pivot. But, when I always say, like, Albert Einstein has this great quote, necessity is the mother of invention. And the other is, when in the middle of every difficulty lies an opportunity. And that's the way we chose to look at COVID. Like, yes, it's a difficulty, but there has to be an opportunity there. And as a live event company, we so believe in the power of what Shanda does and what Shanda helps you do. So if we're not working, she's not working, you're not working, the ripple effect of that is huge. So we just looked at each other like, we have a big team. We love our team. We don't want to lose our team. We don't want to furlough our team. We have amazing clients. We love our clients. We have amazing audiences. We love our audiences. You just have to figure it out. So we made a quick pivot and literally in 2 weeks produced our very first virtual live event. And what's fascinating is that event that consistently had been 300 people, a very solid 300 people for 3 years, a domestic US audience, which is exactly what the host wanted, through the power of the pivot, became 1,200 people, and for the first time ever, a global audience. So he quadrupled in size, for the first time had a global reach, made more money, and spent less. And we're going to talk about that today, because that is, honestly, what is really great. The silver lining of COVID is being forced to take an industry that had been pretty stagnant on some level. There isn't a ton of innovation. I mean, I've been doing this, well, let's just say a long time. And there has not been a ton of change until this year. There's never been more innovation in the hospitality and events industry than there has been right now. And the great news for you is it all benefits you.
And what's powerful, I think, is, a lot of people, you and I talked about this, a lot of people couldn't do the jump to live events because of the risk, right? How many of you guys love to do big live events, but even the risk of booking a venue and like the stress of, can I fill that venue? And the hotel doesn't let you off, right? Like Barry will tell you, when we choose a venue and this is what we're committing to, if people don't show up, you still pay the hotel. And so there's a lot of people who haven't been able to get into the event industry because of it, right? Like, because either they didn't know, like Spencer being a chiropractor, but like, think about network marketing has been holding big meetings forever. They call it meetings, right? We call it events. A chiropractor might call it a meeting. A doctor might call it like a luncheon, right? So we've been all doing a lot of events our whole life. In the biggest industries to create the biggest results is actually through events. It's like a time collapser, right? It's like, because it builds massive authority really quickly when you can do an event. And so people haven't been able to jump into that event world. Now you're saying that people could actually get into the event world without all of those parameters. What have you been seeing in that arena? Like, have you been seeing a lot of new people jumping into this world and taking a chance?
Yeah, it's such a great question. It's a big part of what we've been doing this year is helping speakers, authors, and influencers who are up and comers figure out how to do virtual live events from their living room, from their home. And we're going to talk about that today, because really, truly, like, whether you have a small list, a medium list, a big list, the same structures and strategies work. But here's the great news. You don't need a big list. You don't have to have a massive list to get started. You don't need a big budget. You don't need a big production. You don't need a big studio. And I'm going to show you some amazing studios today. Like, if you look at what Tony Robbins has been doing and what we help create there, but it's what we call a virtual stadium. And it's epic and it's amazing. But the great news is you don't need that. Like, you literally could do this tomorrow from your living room with resources you already have at home. I mean, it's that simple. It's never been that way before. To Shanda's point, before you would have to go get, even if you were doing a small event, let's say 15 people, you're going to the Courtyard Marriott or you're going to some local hotel and you're putting down a rental fee and you're securing it with a contract that you are then liable for. So you have this overhead, which we're going to talk about today, that you no longer have. So it is truly, we always say this, like, for the last 12 months, this is an unprecedented time. you have an unprecedented opportunity, and I'm going to show you today how you can make an unprecedented offer, and that gives you an unprecedented purpose-driven payday. We're going to talk about that. But every single one of you could be doing this. Yes, exactly. Revenue challenge. We're going to be talking about leverage.
Excited, you guys. Light up the chats right now and tell her, because she gets to read them all. All right, Barry, I'm going to pass it on to you, and then I'll come back and join you. You guys, it really is an incredible time. When things are crazy, it's when the most amount of wealth gets transferred. Who's heard that before? Who knows that a bunch of wealth gets transferred when things go chaos? But do you want to be on the other side of the bridge this time? Right? Do you want to just know that, or do you want to own that? Do you want to just know that, or do you want to own that? We are committed to showing you how to own that. All right, Barry, I'm going to hand the stage to you. You guys.
All right. Thank you, Shanda. I appreciate it. So, I mean, to Shanda's point, I just want to enunciate this one thing she said. Not only is it an unprecedented time and you have an unprecedented opportunity, but this concept of owning it, of being able to own your future and what you're doing is really critical. You know, one of the things I think has been the hardest about COVID is the certain degree of uncertainty. Right? Like you're not certain what you can do. You're not certain when you can leave. You're not certain when the kids are going back to school. You're not certain when restaurants are opening. It gets opened and then it gets closed again. And there's just so much uncertainty. What I'm going to share with you today is how you can take uncertainty into certainty fairly easily. It is one of the reasons that I absolutely love virtual events, because you can create certainty. With certainty, you could pick a date, put it on your calendar, and know for a fact that you can do it. You don't have to worry about whether we're open or closed, because you can do it from home and your audience can do it from home. And we're going to talk about what that looks like and how affordable and easy it can be. So the overall concept I want to share with you, I know Shanda's been talking about, you know, how you create revenue, how you take what you're uniquely good at and put that purpose to work for you as an unfair advantage, how you create value, and how you create unprecedented money in your life and in your business. And what we often say at Sage is it's a purpose-driven payday. You heard me say that earlier. And that's the way I look at a live event. It is a purpose-driven payday. And why is that important? Because for most of our clients, our speakers, our authors, our influencers, and I know for you too, because you follow Shanda and this is how she's wired, it's not just about the payday. It's also about the purpose. It's not just about the income. It's also about the impact. You want both. And that is what all of our clients want. And so that's what we specialize in as a company, is enrollment events that allow you to have a purpose-driven payday, to have impact and income. And what we're going to talk about today is the importance of having a list in order to fill your live event, and how easy it is to go from list to live event. And that generally, list plus live event equals leverage. And leverage equals purpose-driven payday. It equals scale in your business, scale in your audience, scale in your positioning and your authority. So I just grabbed a quote from our good friend Shanda Sumter. And, you know, this is her mission. It's my mission and my passion to ensure entrepreneurs have the help they need to get their powerful messages out there and create financial freedom while they do it. That's why she's here. She's clear on her purpose on the planet, and that's exactly what she's helping you do today. And when we met, one of the first things we did together was host a live event. She hired our company to host a live event for her. And as you know, she's amazing on stage. She has incredible presence, but also incredible content. And so when we put those together, we immediately created leverage in her business that she didn't have before. And since then, Shanda, being the force of nature that she is, she's built that into, you know, a multi-7-figure, if not 8-figure business. And now she's teaching other people how to do that too. But way back when, I remember Shanda Sumter when she was just getting started, when she was making that pivot out of real estate into being a speaker, author, and influencer. So for all of you who are out there thinking, oh, I couldn't possibly do this, I can't be Shanda. Back then, Shanda wasn't Shanda, right? Like, that is the benefit of this industry and this space and this unprecedented time, that you at your fingertips have the ability to go from where you are right now to being the speaker, author, influencer of your dreams, whatever that looks like for you. And I want you to put it in the chat. What does that look like for you? If you could have a purpose-driven payday, what would that look like for you? Like, what is the business of your dreams? Put a number on it and put it in there. Don't be afraid to put a number on it. Say, this is we're in a revenue challenge. What is the business of your dreams? Are you a writer? Put that in there. I'm going to write a book. Are you a speaker? You're going to speak on stages, your own or someone else's? You want to be an influencer and be seen? How much money do you want to generate from that? Because I'm here to tell you it's absolutely possible. And of course, it all starts with list. So yes, thank you, Vicki Poole and Dr. Allen and Melody Dixon. Yes, yes, yes. Savannah, Miranda, absolutely. So let's get to it and talk about how it works. Why live events? Why virtual? Why now? Now, we've already kind of given you a little hint of that, but one thing I want to tell you is the concept of list to live event has been around well before COVID. I mean, for most of our clients who are big names that you know now, Pete Vargas, Dean Graziosi, Tony Robbins, Russell Brunson, Shanda Sumter, Allison Maslin, Mary Morrissey, I could go on and on down the list. The key is the list, right? In order to fill your live event, you need a list. You need people who are following you. So the heart of any thriving business, this is anything from Netflix to you, is having a list of subscribers, a list of people who are following you. Once you have that list, the ability to take that and leverage it into a live event is what we're going to talk about today, and how it's easier than ever before because it accelerates your revenue creation. And I'm going to show you exactly how. But one thing I want to demystify for you, the why now piece, is that you can do a virtual live event for 5, for 50, 500, 5,000 or more. I'm going to say that again. You can do a virtual live event for 5 people, 50 people, 500 people, 5,000 or more. You can do all of that from your living room, by the way. So you can have a truly global audience. You can have as many people as you like or as few. And that's the beauty of it, right? Like imagine if you could have an audience of 10 people in your living room, and imagine if 2, 3, 4 of them purchased your low ticket offer, your high ticket offer. That's a pretty good purpose-driven payday from your living room, having a small group of people who are your right fit client, who you give amazing connection, content, community to, and then you make an offer for them to work further with you, which they take you up on because they want more. And now all of a sudden you have created your coaching program, your coaching business. So to Shanda's point, whether you're a doctor or whether you're a speaker, author, influencer, whether you want to do luncheons or whether you want to do live events, all the things I'm going to share with you today work for all of that. Because here's the thing that most people don't realize. Virtual events are live events. So I am like, this is my soapbox these days. Now that we have pivoted and we have seen the power of virtual, one thing I know to be true is the same way that 9/11 changed the travel industry forever, COVID changed the events industry forever. It is forever changed. You will not see virtual go away. In person will come back. Of course it will come back. We love concerts. We love movies. Even though you can watch a movie in your living room, you still want to go to the movie theater, right? Even though you could listen to a concert on your phone, you still want to go to a live concert. In-person events will come back. They are slowly coming back, but virtual events will not go away. They are live events. They're now just a different form of live event. A live event experience, an immersive experience like the one you're having right now, will be around forever, as will in person. People will do both. And the reason is there's so much opportunity. Jeff Walker, Mary Morrissey, Pete Vargas, Pedro Adeo, Dean Graziosi, Allison Maslin, I could go on, but it generated $215 million in the last 12 months. We've done over $1 billion in revenue for our clients since we started in business 16 years ago. It's a pretty big number, and it's a real number, not marketer math, trackable math from live in-person events. But $215 million was created from virtual. And that's not even including our students who are working from our living rooms. That's just our private clients who are owning virtual stadiums and virtual stages. So we talked a little bit about this, the lockdown. This is literally the event where we were when the country got locked down, a simple little event for foot and ankle surgeons that we do every year. And then we made the quick pivot. And here's a look at the virtual studio that we created. We took an empty warehouse and some people not working and some equipment out on the road and said, let's put this to work for us. And this is the very first virtual studio that we created. This is the very first opportunity that led to that $215 million. Within a couple months, we got a visit from this gentleman, Tony Robbins. He came down to our studio and said, I heard what you guys are doing and I'd like to learn more about it. And Tony being Tony, if you know anything about Tony, he supersizes everything. And so he said, I love it, but let's just do it on a more epic scale. And so we put together the first ever virtual stadium with Tony, and we launched the first ever virtual UPW. And what Tony saw was the same thing that Dylan Frost saw back in April. We had more people show up for UPW virtual than he'd ever have show up at any single UPW live. But here's the thing that was really amazing in this virtual stadium. If you were in a stadium with Tony Robbins and you couldn't afford to be on the floor right down there with him, next to him, you would be in what? The nosebleed seats, right? Now you could see Tony, but could Tony see you? No, but through the power of virtual, he actually can see you the same way I can see you right now. So what's really amazing about virtual events and virtual studios and virtual stadiums is that they actually allow more intimacy with your audience than in person would. Even if you had a ballroom of 300 people, you're going to see the people in the first couple rows, right? But with virtual, you're going to see everybody and they're going to see you, and you can talk directly to them and you can see their names and you can get to know them and you get to know a little bit about them, right? Like I know more about you right away just by seeing your home environment, by seeing your cat walk across your desk, by seeing your daughter come in and give you a kiss on the cheek. Like I already feel like I know you better than if we were just sitting in an in-person ballroom. So again, this doesn't take away from in-person events, but the power of virtual is that you can do it right away. So whether you are Shanda or whether you're these people, and my guess is you don't know any of the people in that bottom row. My guess is most of them you've never heard of. If I were to go down the line, Ken Krell, Kelly Schaefer, Martha Wilson, Nancy Hand, you haven't heard of them, Lisa Vanderwalk, but they're all out there doing virtual live events from their home studios and making 5, 6, and 7-figure paydays. And you can do that too. And here's why it's super awesome. Much like Shanda said, you get higher profit and you get much less liability. So no longer do you, if you're dreaming of being on a stage, you don't have to wait for someone to invite you to be on their stage. You can create your own. And you don't have to wait until you can afford to go and get a hotel. You can afford to go get a big AV team. You can afford to get a team to support you. You don't have to wait for that anymore. You can literally start this right now. And the reason it's so powerful is that there's no hotel contracts, there's no big AV bill, there's no overhead. And then why it's powerful for your attendees, there are no hotel rooms and there are no flights. So what that means is right off the bat, your attendees start your virtual live event feeling richer than if they come to an in-person event, right? Because they didn't have to invest in a hotel room. They didn't have to invest in a flight. They didn't have to get an Uber. They didn't have to negotiate with their spouse to get time away. They can literally attend your 1-day or your 2-day or your 3-day live event from home, the same way that you can deliver your 1-day, 2-day, or 3-day live event from home. So the power of that, of not having to commit to big liability and still getting out there to test your ideas and to become an authority in your area and reach out to your audience and have it be a global audience. No matter where you are, you can literally reach out across the globe. There are 350 million people on Zoom every single day, not users, people. 350 million people on Zoom every day. Every one of our clients, Tony Robbins on down, are using Zoom, which is essentially a free product, very affordable, to run their virtual live events, and you can too. So let's talk about why this works so well. Because the added bonus of putting on these virtual live events is you get instant credibility, you get visibility, you get authority, and you get leverage. I'm going to say that again. You get instant credibility. You know this, an event hosts are more credible the same way that people who write books are more credible. Being on someone's stage is not as powerful as owning your own. So instant credibility, instant visibility. Even people who don't come to your event, when you start marketing your event, are going to see you differently and see you more. And that gives you authority, which means you're not just another expert, you're the authority in your space, which is what you want when you're trying to be an influencer in your space, in front of your right fit clients, your ideal clients. And that gives you leverage. And I'm going to show you how the leverage works today. But here's the thing. The credibility and visibility give you the positioning, and the authority and the leverage give you the profit, right? When you put all these things together, list to live event is giving you the credibility, the visibility, the authority, the leverage, the positioning, and the profit. That's the purpose-driven payday that we're talking about. And here's the thing. We've talked about this not being high tech. I want to actually show you what I'm talking about. I mean, I'm obviously in a high-tech studio right now, but I have the benefit of A, being married to an audiovisual techie, and B, this is our life. This is our business. We have 3 studios in this building, a podcast studio, a broadcast studio, and a Zoom studio. So I have that at my fingertips, but you don't have to. You could have a computer or 2, and here's what it looks like. These are our students doing exactly what I'm talking about. Like, these are real live virtual events happening in homes and home offices. And listen, this guy I just showed you, you can see he's got a computer and he's standing. Why? Because standing gives you more authority than sitting, right? Or you could be more sophisticated. You could see some of these other examples. Let's see. There's one. You can see he's gone a little more high tech. But the benefit is the live event experience, and this is really key for your audiences when you're setting up your live event. I'm going to give you a quick tip here, something we've learned. Your biggest challenge is going to get people to see that it's not a webinar and it's not a live stream. The average person, when they hear virtual live event, is like, oh, it's a 1-day webinar. Oh, it's a 3-day webinar. It's not that. You're creating an immersive, interactive experience because you can see them, you can talk to them, you can chat with them. It's completely different than just doing a 90-minute webinar. It's not that. You can send them into breakouts. You can have them interact with one another. Actually, you can have it be more interactive because with the touch of a button, if I wanted to right now, we could send you into breakouts. You could be huddling with people just like you, having a conversation around what we're teaching in groups of 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 8. Imagine what that's like. It's essentially a virtual roundtable. How many of you have been to a live event? Let me just see a quick show of hands where you've had a round table that you've sat around and you could talk to the people there. Yes, exactly. And it's great because right away you're meeting people that you didn't even know you needed to know. But with the touch of a button, I could do that same thing. And when I'm ready, I can bring you right back. And I don't have to worry about losing your focus or you wandering off. It makes it super easy. So all of those things are at your fingertips just through the power of your computer and Zoom. And here's the thing I also want you to know. If you're thinking, but wait, Barry, I don't know if I want to learn virtual events. I mean, you're saying they're going to stick around, but it feels like a lot to learn. And eventually I want to go back to in-person. 80% of virtual and in-person are the same. What we learned from doing 45 virtual live events in 12 months and generating $215 million for the people that we ran them for is that 80% of what you do in virtual and what you do in person are exactly the same. The difference comes down to tech and touch. That's it. The 20% difference comes down to how you touch them virtually and how you use the technology. It's completely different in virtual, but just that 20%, the 80% that's the same is the core of your leveraged business. And that's what I'm going to share with you right now. So whether you're interested in doing in person or virtual or both, what I'm about to share with you is the path to profit for going from list to live event and building real leverage in your business, virtual or in person, it works the same. So this is what I call the profit pyramid. And this is basically how you plot out your daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, annual plan for your business. I literally think of this as a business blueprint on one single sheet of paper, right? Like everything you need for your business to plan out what you're doing this year is contained in this profit pyramid. So the first thing would be a launch or a podcast or Clubhouse. The second would be a low ticket offer, like taking that launch or podcast or whatever you're doing, that list that you have, and using it to do what? Sell a course. That's your LTO, or what we call a low ticket offer. Let's just say that it's $19.97 and it's an 8-week course. You've now gone from list building, list creation, low cost or free, to your low ticket offer, which is that $19.97, $9.97, $7.97, $5.97, whatever your course is going to be valued at. And then from that, here's the key. You take that list and you take the launch that you did of that product and you give everyone who purchased it a ticket to your live event. So your live event, let's say it's $97 with the $197 VIP upgrade or $197 with the $297 VIP upgrade. That's the cost for everybody else. But for the people who bought your course, they get to come for free for just a deposit, right? Because they're part of a community who have invested with you. And because they're part of a community who have invested with you, they're a right fit client, they want more of you, and they're willing to pay for it and they're willing to invest the time because they've seen how amazing you are through your list building and through your coursework. And what they're generally looking for, because you're so awesome, is what comes next. I want more of you. Well, where does more of you live? In live event. So whether it's in person or virtual, it's the next natural step for you. But it's never been easier because it can be virtual. And then what do you do at your live event? Well, you launch what we call an HTO, a high ticket offer. Now, a high ticket offer might be $5,000, it might be $10,000, it might be $20,000. It depends on who you are and what you're launching. But it is that easy to say to people who went to your live event, if you'd like more of me, if you'd like to spend more time with me, if you'd like immersion and repetition and mastery, if you'd like accountability and community and enhanced opportunity, then come with me in this journey for a year or for 6 months, right? And you may even take it one step further and launch a mastermind, which, industry average would be around $25K. And you may take that one step further and launch a VIP program where they can spend a day with you and get you just focused on their business. Now, that top 3 things on top of the live event pyramid, any one of them could work for you at any price point. And it will be easier for you to launch it through the power of a live event. Because when people spend a full day with you, or when people spend 3 full days with you, they are more likely to want to spend more time with you. And I'm going to show you how. First of all, just quickly, all roads lead to your high ticket offer. So what I'm about to share with you is that if you think about your right fit client, the ideal client that Shanda's been talking to you about, it's the same person working their way up through the pyramid, right? Your right fit client is coming to you free, right? They can only afford free. And they're like, oh, they're so good. I've got to have more of them. I'm willing to buy the course. Oh, that was so good. I've got to have more of them. I'm willing to invest 3 days. Oh, that was so good. I've got to have more of them. I'm willing to invest in a year, or invest in a day, or invest in a mastermind, right? Can you see how these pieces add up? It's the accumulation effect of you getting your IP out there, your unfair advantage out there, your unique ability out there, your zone of genius out there, and having them experience it and say, I just want more. That right fit client is just moving their way up through the pyramid from free to high ticket. And with each layer, they get more of you, more access to you. And they're willing to pay for more access to you because you're amazing. Put it in the chat if you know you're amazing. Say, I am amazing. I am amazing. I'm amazing. I'm amazing. You know you are amazing. It's why you're here. You know you're meant for more. It's why you're here. And this is the path to getting you there. So let me show you really quick how easy a 3-day live event can be. And what I'm about to share with you, this profit pyramid and this structure, they work for 5, for 50, for 500, and for 5,000 or more. It is the same structure that we use for the biggest names in the industry. It's the same structure we use with people who are just getting started on their first or their next live in-person or virtual event. Again, in-person or virtual, it works for both. This is the structure that does the selling for you. And we call it the 3x3 PAG, meaning it's 3 days. And I'm going to show you how to design each day to launch your high ticket offer right now. So first, you focus on what is the one problem you solve. What is the one problem you solve? That is the unique value proposition of your live event. Second, day 1 is all about content, connection, and community. That's it. On day 1, your sole focus is give them amazing content, give them an incredible sense of connection, and give them access to a like-minded community, people just like them. And I'm here to tell you, in the age of COVID, people are craving like-minded community. How many of you are so happy to be here today with your like-minded community? Let me see a show of hands. Like you've been restricted and you've been in your homes and now you're with people just like you. Exactly, Angela. Absolutely. Exactly, Ramona. That is why you're here. And that's why your right fit client is going to come to your live event. So they get content, connection, community. You're not making any offers. You're not selling anything. It's just reciprocity. It's giving them aha moments. It's giving them a sense of what's possible. It's getting them more connected to you, more connected to their like-minded community, and most importantly, more connected to themselves and a higher vision of what's possible. That's it. Then on day 2, we advance to pain, solution, invitation. You can see there's a rhythm here. 3 things each day. That's why it's the 3x3 PAG. Day 1, day 2, day 3. There are 3 things we do on day 1. Content, connection, community. There are 3 things we do on day 2. Pain, solution, invitation. What is pain, solution, invitation? It is this simple. If I continue to give you amazing content, an amazing connection, an amazing community, you're going to have so many ahas on day 1 and you're like, oh my God, this has been amazing. This is so incredible. I can't wait for day 2 and day 3. And then on day 2, you get more aha moments and they start to stack on top of each other. And now you have so many amazing aha moments. What happens? A tipping point where you go from, I'm so excited, I can't wait to start implementing, to, oh my God, there's so much to do. I'm kind of scared to death to start implementing. Now, not everyone's going to buy your product, but the ones who are the ones who want to cut a check for speed or cut a check for hand holding, right? I either want to get there faster or I want to get there with your help and support, or a mix of both, right? So your right fit client is going to say, me, I want more. I love this content. I love this connection. I love this community. Where do I find more? I'm in pain around the fact that I can see where I want to be and I can see where I'm stuck. I just want to close that gap because it's a considerable amount of pain I'm in now. Now that I can see it, I've tasted it. I want that. And I can see where I'm stuck. Could you help me get there faster, simpler, and easier? Well, yes, I have a solution for that. It's my invitation, which is my high ticket offer. I'd be delighted to solve all that for you. We can do that in a group coaching program. And here's the thing, it's not a bait and switch. You're giving generously of your time and your energy and your content. Some of your right fit clients will just say, this has been an amazing event. I'm going to go home and start implementing. That's okay. Because some of them are going to say, this has been amazing and I just want more, right? You're giving generously. You're not just giving them enough to be dangerous. You're building a long-term brand of positioning and authority and credibility and leverage. Today's non-buyers, tomorrow's buyer. You want them around forever and recruiting other people to come too. So you're going to make it an amazing event. But for the percentage of people that want more, you're going to say, I have a solution to your pain. It's this invitation, this offer I have right here. And that leads to day 3, which is decision, commitment, and celebration. It's that simple. It's those 3 things. Decide to do something differently based on what you've learned here. Do not let this be 3 days wasted. Commit to a timeline. Commit to getting started right away. And I'm here to tell you, and it's true of this challenge this week too, if you don't act on it right away, a day will become a week will become a month will become a year will become a decade. It'll go away faster than you can imagine. And 10 years from now, you'll be sitting around going, why is everybody else so successful? And it's like, well, because they took action, because they decided, they committed, they chose commitment over convenience. And you have to do that too, starting today. Don't let this be a few days wasted of amazing content and connection community with Shanda and not take the next step to get yourself where you need to go. It's the same thing for your right fit client at your live event. Get them to decide to do something differently. Get them to commit to a timeline and then celebrate with them that this is where everything changed. And here's the next piece of it. And if in deciding on that action and committing to that timeline, they realize that they need help to get there, well, guess what? Your invitation is right there waiting. We close all those invitations on day 3. That high ticket offer gets launched on the afternoon of day 2, and it gets closed on day 3. And then you start the journey with them at a welcome celebration on day 3. Like the journey starts here at this event. The journey starts with a welcome celebration where we together kick off our year together with your like-minded community of people who are going to be doing it with you. It really is that simple. It's the one problem you solve. It's giving incredible content, connection, and community. It's giving them a solution to the pain that they're in. It's giving them an invitation, an irresistible offer that they can't refuse because you are amazing. And it's getting them to commit to a timeline. Decide, commit, and celebrate. And again, for those who need help cutting a check for speed or getting additional hand-holding and support, you are the solution. Whether it's 1 tier, 2 tiers, or 3 tiers, this is the leverage business that you're creating. You start simple, just offer one thing, and then over time you add additional services and benefits. This is how the biggest names in the industry, every name that you can think of that you admire, build a leverage business. And it's why you see that all of them are doing live events and most of them have pivoted to virtual. It's also why names you've never even heard of are using this exact same structure and strategy to go from list to live event, because it's never been easier than it is right now. And I want you to think about that. I want you to imagine what you could do if you put the power of virtual to work for you. What would that look like in your life and in your business if you could create your own purpose-driven payday? What would it mean for you? What would it mean for your family? What would it mean for this generation? And what would it mean for the generations that are going to come afterwards? That really is the power of the pivot, of being an entrepreneur and taking control of your own destiny and putting list and live event and leverage to work for you. You can literally build the business of your dreams virtually overnight. But again, there's one key criteria, and that is choosing commitment over convenience. It is not a magic wand. List building isn't a magic wand, and live events aren't a magic wand. You have to show up. You have to do the work. And as my good friend Lisa Nichols says, conviction and convenience never live on the same street. And if you think about it, it's really true, right? It's true in life, it's true in love, it's true in everything that matters. The thing that is the most convenient is never the thing that you're the most convicted about. And the thing that you're the most convicted about is never the most convenient. You do have to show up. You do have to do the work. You do have to recommit every single day to the bigger vision of yourself and what's possible. And you have to recommit every single day to that right fit client that's out there waiting for you, because they are out there waiting for you. The things that you know that they don't know, they're just out there waiting for you. Who are you not to get yourself out there and serve them in the way that only you can do? Whether it's 5, whether it's 50, whether it's 500, whether it's the dream vision of 5,000 or more, you have to get started somewhere. So my wish for you is you choose to get started today. You choose to take all the amazing things that you've learned and say, this is the breakout year. I have no excuses. I don't need a hotel. I don't have big liability. I know how to build a list. Now, Shanda's telling me exactly what I need to do. And now I can see the whole path to building my business through this powerful model. There's never been a better time to pivot, Reinvention and a reset are a world order. Well, I don't love COVID, and I don't want to minimize it in any way because I know there's been tremendous loss. I don't want to trivialize it, but I do think it is a great reset. I think it is an opportunity for all of us to consider reinvention and to consider what's possible, because in the midst of every difficulty does lie an opportunity. And there's never been an opportunity like the one you have in front of you right now, if you decide and you commit. And then I sure hope you celebrate, because you deserve that. You deserve to celebrate the day, and you should take like a screen grab of yourself right now and say, this is the day that I decided and I committed to do things differently, to create a business with real leverage and real opportunity, because it is absolutely possible. You can do this.
Awesome. Barry, I love you, girl. I love you, love you, love you. So if you can put us on together, please. So first and foremost, everybody, think about that for a second as like, you know, Barry's company could have 100% gone under. I mean, you guys could have 100% gone under, and you chose to shift, to pivot, to be able to take action. And now again, you're back on top. And the reason why I share this with you is because success does leave clues. We've said that for years. And so when people are working forever and not getting on the right side of the tracks, you just have to stop and say, you've probably come to the right place multiple times, but you have to stop and go, what's going on with my leadership to be able to take me across to the right side of the tracks? Because the only difference between taking a tactic, taking trainings like this, and actually getting to the other side is actually you're the engine behind it, right? Yes. So if we can just take a moment and just say, we can change that. The real big blessing about that is we can change that, like starting now, right? Like we can change that starting now and follow through. So you guys, I want to also take a moment and just honor you, Barry, and say I'm super glad that you're here. I'm glad that you're a part of this. I'm glad that you said yes to help train with me on the Revenue Challenge, to do our part on linking arms to help people go to the next level. And what I know for sure is that people are going to need support and help to go to that next level. So you guys are going to share something that we've got specially curated for the Revenue Challenge. I'm not going to do like this huge, you know, don't keep Barry on with me, please. I don't want to do this. I'm not going to do this huge invitation, but I'm just going to put it out there so that you know it's there. Over the course of the next, you know, couple days, you'll know that it's actually there. Now, Barry and I talked, and with what I'm about to invite you to take action on, she is going to add something to the people who decide that you want to be on the right side of the tracks and you'd like our help to actually get there. So Barry, just take a moment and just share what you're going to blend into the invitation that we're going to offer today.
Yeah, absolutely. So Shanda and I were talking, and we were like, what are they really going to need? You know, because we've given you as much info, you know, there's only so much you can share in the short amount of time we have, right? So it's like, what's the next step that we could give you to actually take ideas and put them into action? And so we thought about a half-day workshop called List to Live Event, where I'm actually going to teach you how to put in the details of that 3-day PAG and collapse it into a 1-day if you choose to. I know for some of you, you're like, I'm not ready for a 3-day. So it's literally a 2-hour workshop that we're going to walk you through everything you need to know on how to design your PAG from list to live event, and whether you want to do a 1-day, a 2-day, or a 3-day, how to take that same model I showed you, that 3x3 PAG, and either do the 3-day, which again, you can do for 5, 50, 500 or more, it works, or collapse it into a 2-day, or collapse it into a 1-day, so that you have everything you need to get out there and get this done, to create the business of your dreams.
What's powerful about this, Barry, is that like the program at a glance, the PAG, it really is how to design any sort of presentation, yes. Right? Like, so who are you guys out there that you've been maybe creating content, but it hasn't been getting the engagement you want? Or maybe there's people that watch some of your stuff online, or maybe you've tried virtual seminars or things like that, but you haven't had the conversions you want. The way you design the actual PAG, the program at a glance, really determines whether or not you've got the charisma to hold them all the way through. Now, I will speak outside the box and say there are some of us that have charisma, and there are people that Barry has worked with that do not have charisma. And when you put program at a glance together properly, it doesn't matter, it still produces the end result. And that's pretty cool. So Barry, you're going to do that event May 11th from
Yeah, May
12.
11th. We're going to do 2 hours of content and then an hour of Q&A so that you have time to get your questions answered. And again, our goal is take ideas and put them into action and to get you from just, this is awesome to I'm actually doing this.
Yeah, like most people, this is what I'm most excited about. Most people don't have the opportunity to work with you like this. And the truth is, before this moment in time with this pivot going virtual, like even to book you was almost impossible. Like
Yes.
you guys, I would never let go of my spot with Barry every year, and neither would Russell, and neither would Dean, and neither would Jeff Walker, and neither would any of us. There's a reason why our events were the same time every year, because Barry and her husband Blue were the ones that were running the tech, that were actually running the influence on how we actually program at a glance. All we had to do was go fill in and follow their templates and go. So this isn't stuff that you probably hear online, do you? You don't hear this, right? You just sit there and go, wow, how come I feel so amazing when I'm at this event? Well, here you go. Here's the secret. So no more excuses on whether or not you can do a presentation, Spencer, or a workshop or a retreat or any of that. And here's what's cool. What I'm about to take you through for the rest of this opportunity is I'll show you how to fill those events.
Yeah.
I'll show you how to fill those events. So I'm going to take a moment. I'm going to share with you guys our revenue challenge opportunity, and then it'll just be sitting there for the next couple of days. So you can take action right now if you know, because you know if you take longer, what happens for many of you is you talk yourself out of a good opportunity. I also know some of you guys need to sleep on it, and you've been sleeping on it for so long that maybe it's time to just take action, or maybe you do need to sleep on it. It'll be there for you tomorrow morning. So let's go. Okay, so I'm going to share this with you guys right now. Okay, so here is how to overcome the obstacles in your life and inside your business. Hold on, you guys. I'm sorry about this. I need to get rid of my VIP. I love you, but I need to get rid of you. Okay, so here's how to overcome the obstacles between you and the revenue goals for your ideal life. So Barry just offered the opportunity on May 11th from 12 to 2, and then an hour of Q&A to help you actually organize your program at a glance, which means how do you actually become the authority and the influence that you need, whether you're leading a presentation, whether you're leading a meeting, whether you're leading a retreat, whatever your industry calls a presentation, that's the ticket to be able to do that. It's what we're all using. I'm going to show you how you can actually fill that. So here we go. So I want to show you how to build a buyer's list. And that is not a social media buyer's list, but a buyer's list that you actually own. So I want to show you how to have a list that if you wanted to talk to 10, 20, 30 people today, that you could go out there and do that. Now, if you want to offer the workshop, presentation, seminar, whatever it is that you want to do with Barry's work, then this will actually make sure that you have butts and seats, right? So if you went back to Barry and asked her, does she ever feel worried about me being able to fill an event? Her answer will be absolutely not. Absolutely not, because I have a list. If you asked Russell Brunson about what has saved his business from going bankrupt when he was figuring it out, he will tell you it was his buyer's list. It's actually on my Facebook page. It was his buyer's list. I want to show you how to design an offer that sells. Whether or not you want to do retreats or seminars or any of that, you don't have to do that if you're not ready for it. But I think everybody should be ready for it, to be really honest. But I'll show you how to design an offer that will just sell directly to your buyer's list if you want to go direct to buyer's list. Okay, so there's a secret to actually putting your offer together. I taught the empathy model yesterday. That's a part of it that helps you think through it. But then how do you have the confidence and the follow through to make that offer so that it's designed in a way that people clearly, there's nothing worse than you know what you're trying to sell, but they don't know what you're trying to say, right? So we're going to design an offer that actually sells. I'm going to show you how to become a strong leader that actually makes money. Remember, I keep saying the engine behind every tactic is your leadership. It's the engine, right? So some people think it's like, oh, I got to figure out how to be confident. No, you don't. You have to figure out how to be courageous right now with us, right? And dust yourself off and get back in the game. But that is part of leadership. Confidence doesn't come until you're competent. Dan Sullivan talks about that all the time. So when you look at becoming a stronger leader, you want to be able to execute fast because money loves speed. So whether you're an analyzer that needs to think of it, you need to develop the leadership to become what we call a promoter, somebody who can actually take the action quick and then use your analytics to make it perfect, right? Nothing becomes perfect out of the box. And so there's different quadrants of leadership. We want you to develop all of the quadrants so that you're strong in making decisions, making them fast, and getting the intended result. There's nothing worse than being a great starter and a shitty finisher. We want you to be a great starter, a great middle person, and a great finisher. Okay, so how do we do that? So here's how we do it. We teach you first. We've been teaching entrepreneurs for over 10 years now. First, how to build an email list of buyers. So here's how we do it. And here are the actual modules that we teach you. So first of all, we teach you in our List Power Intensive and Home Study Program. I do not believe home study programs work without a live component. So I'm actually going to teach this to you live. Plus, I'll give you the home study program so you can study it afterwards if there's anything you want to continue to review. So module number 1, I teach you how to do a title, a theme that actually people want to buy. So in VIP of this challenge, that's come up multiple times. People who even know what they're going to sell. I'm like, yeah, but do you know the emotional state of your audience right now? Because that's where your titles, your taglines, your themes, your presentations, what you call your event, what you call your webinar, all of that stuff matters. And we actually sell and influence based on somebody's emotional state. So I want to show you how to choose a theme that actually gets you started in the right direction so that you're not continuing to get ready to sell or to make the money that you intend. So there's a very specific format on how to do that. There's even emotional trigger words that we'll teach you that will actually have your stuff pop online so that people gravitate, engage with what it is that you put out there. And it's simple. That's the good news, is it's simple. Module number 2, I'll teach you how to decide on a domain name. I was telling this to my team. My team this morning, I was like, hey guys, when you do presentations online, right? Like we're going to teach you how to do a presentation. That's why Barry's offer is so amazing. How to do a presentation online, but while you're doing a presentation, how to massively list build at the same time. So we need to know what's the theme and title, but we also need to know what's a domain name that we would actually choose. I was saying this to my team today. I was saying, you guys, I've spent years, hundreds and thousands of dollars to literally learn domain names. Okay. It's also one of the biggest things trading online right now. Like 3-word domain names are almost impossible to get. I think they are impossible to get. And they're trading in crazy amounts of dollars. Why is that? Because the domain name that you choose matters. Have you gotten the education to be able to know that information so that when you do all this work to actually do a workshop and you don't do a workshop, you guys, it could be anything, just sending out emails for people to buy your Black Friday offers or your birthday specials or, book appointments with you or put people on reoccurring, subscriptions or build a membership site or whatever that looks like. There's you don't want to do all that work and then it falls flat because you don't have the right direct response domain. Okay, so we want to show you how to do that. We want to show you how to create headers and banners that people gravitate towards. True story. I have so many people, this is not an income claim, that literally don't even know what their offer is going to be. And they do my List Power program, which is building the list, right? And while we build it, we actually literally build authority at the same time, right? And so I'll show you how to do that. You don't need to know the how to. The big theme of this group that my coaches have said is you have big visions, you're powerful, they believe with the right coaching that you'll be able to cross the finish line. But they said the big thing happening in this revenue challenge is people are like, how to? This is your how to. This is your how to. So literally I have clients that come in, they do this workshop and they don't even know what they're going to offer. So if you're confused right now, you're like, what is she talking about? It doesn't matter because you don't even have to, that's not even a prerequisite to even understand that. What matters is that you take these module steps and at the end of them, trust that you're going to have an email list of buyers that want what it is that you offer, right? And so we have clients that literally come and don't know what they're going to offer, and they do $60,000, $30,000, $250,000. We just had somebody in the real estate world come in. She started her business and she did $4 million. Okay, so is it true that building a business is hard? Or is it that you haven't followed the right steps in the right order to monetize your business faster? I'm going to say it's the second. I'm going to teach you how to reach out to experts. What do I mean by that? So one of the fastest ways to be able to build a buyer's list is to actually have experts promote you, refer you. You might freak out in this moment. That's good. That's called your leadership coming up, right? And your soul knows you're about to break through and be seen. And that's a scary place to be. But I'm telling you, you're going to struggle either way. I'd rather you struggle up than to struggle without. I'd rather you struggle up than to struggle without. So our models teach you how to reach out to other experts online that will, I've been doing this for over 10 years, that will promote you. They will promote you to their email list. They will promote you to their social media. They will promote you to their fans. They will promote you to their buyers. And you will build a highly referred list of people who want to buy from you, even if you haven't figured out what you're going to sell yet, right? So we're going to teach you something called the generator email template. That's the actual method in which you're going to follow my script. And these people who don't know you yet are actually going to mail for you. So if you're in the horse riding industry, there's people who have written books around, becoming a great horseback rider. If you're a coach or consultant, there are people who have written books in your industry. If you are a nutritionist or even a network marketer, like, it's not about the product, it's about who's the audience that buys your product. I'm going to show you that there are people who already have your audience. Think about this for a second. Obviously, there has been books that people are reading, those books that are your buyers. I'm going to show you how to figure that out and how to send them a generator email that will actually have them agree to promote you. Who's excited about this so far? Module number 4, I'm going to show you about hiring a virtual assistant and learning how to not deal with the tech. And so virtual assistants, we have a virtual assistant company, but I'm going to show you how to access virtual assistants. It doesn't have to be my company. I just happen to have a company that we have vetted out very good virtual assistants so that you can rely on them and they can help you build out any sort of pages online. So if you're like, I don't know how to do anything online, I want you to know something. I have never known how to set up a registration page. And I intentionally did not learn it. And the reason why is because every time I do something admin wise, it means that I'm not doing something to grow the company. Right? So I need to, and you need to do the thing that you set out to do for your life. You didn't wake up and say, unless you're maybe an agency or you're building your own virtual assistant company, you didn't grow up saying, I want to set up pages, unless you did. And that's what your company does. If that's you, module number 4 doesn't mean anything for you. But for the majority of us, that means that we get to actually do the thing that we're supposed to do, and we can get some support. So I can show you how very affordably you can have and manage a virtual assistant to set up your life technology-wise so that you're not doing it. Module number 5, creating an opt-in page. So what is, like, the page online needs to literally be like a 2-minute hook to be able to pull people in. Again, you don't need to know what I'm talking about. You just need to know the scripts in order to do that. Module number 6, promotional material. Well, when I say yes to promote you online or to promote you to my email list or what other experts that say yes to your module number 3 generator email template, when those people say yes, you need to give them something, right? You can't make them write the email to go out to their list. So how the frick do you write a good email, good copywritten email so that they will market to their list? Right? And so we're going to show you how to do that module number 6 and how to really optimize your content. Module number 7 is launching. This is the how-to that everybody's looking for. We're going to show you how to launch. In module number 8, we're going to show you the summit process, which is basically what is the list and the hacks that you need to follow so you can just go through the checklist and make sure that you've actually completed all those details. Module number 9 is, we call it a summit or an online show or a presentation or a seminar. All of these are just different words for list building. We are going to build extra momentum with this model to be able to create maximum results. So for instance, a little secret on that, when experts are already promoting you, you can actually go back in and there's a very specific email. It's a paragraph. but it's a paragraph that you don't have right now. That paragraph is written, and that paragraph, when you send it to the experts, many of them will pick it up and send another promotional email to their list. You also need to have speakers agreements, and you need to have agreements when they promote you. All of those things are things that we provide for you. Module number 10 is literally how to set up your life so that the next year of your life, we talk about ascension plans, we talk about stacking, we talk about all these things that you don't know what I'm talking about right now, that we've been teaching our clients on how to 3x their monthly income. Because once you know all these steps, we want to show you how to 3x your monthly income. Again, this is not an income claim. It's not an income claim. I can't control your leadership, but what I can do is give you a bridge to manage your own. So here's what we're going to do. So here's what you got. So there's two opportunities here for you. There's the business opportunity where I'll teach you on April 28th, 29th, and 30th of this month. You already heard me say, I do not believe that most people actually follow through on home study programs. And so could I be a charismatic leader and sell you a home study program? Yeah, but if you don't get your result, then the problem with that is I can't teach you long-term how to continue to grow these empires that you want, right? And so maybe you don't want an empire. Maybe you just want to replace your job, right? But it's like, I want to show you how to empower you to make money, build this buyers list, connect you with Barry to learn program at a glance. I want to show you how to do all of this. But the truth is that if you have a great result with me, what are the chances that you're going to stay with me? It's high, right? So it's very, very high. So I've never subscribed to only 10% of people ever do the home study program. So what we did when COVID hit, another blessing, right? Another silver lining is that I started coming out, and I haven't done this for years. I started coming out and training this program live. So I'm going to train it live for you April 28th, 29th, and 30th. There are no replays for this, right? But I'm going to train it for you live, but you do have the home study program that you can look at if you miss anything or want to go deeper. Okay, so you also get 2 general admission tickets, Barry to Zone event, which we are in the process of communicating and working on right now. And so you get 2 general admission tickets to Zone event, which is $800 value. You also get lifetime access to our List Power Home Study program, like I said, which also has a Facebook group, and it also has 3 live calls every single month. So you get access to that. So it's like the best security blanket you could ever imagine. Like you could just, you could have poor leadership, and like, we're just there to support you for as long as you need us to be able to get the result. So if life gets in the way, we're still there. We'll be your constant rock so that you can get this under your belt, learn this education. Once you have buyers, everything else is easier. So you can have a great product and no buyers, no list of buyers, then you have a product that nobody knows about. You can build the best membership site on the planet and there's no buyers, no engine towards it, then it's a great membership site that still has 12% attrition or 15% attrition every single month, which means that you have to sell every single month in a membership site, which if you don't have this list, what are you going to do? Spend a bunch of money on ad spend? Maybe. But none of what I teach you requires you to take out a credit card and run an ad. The total value of this workshop and home study program is $3,800. I have tons of webinars selling it at that price. And for you on this revenue challenge, it's $997. Now, here's the best value offer. Because I know leadership and business are 2 really important components to put together, I created a different bundle, and that's the business and life bundle. So the business and life bundle has everything in the first opportunity. It's got the list building program, which I'm going to train to you live. And for some odd reason, you can't come live to the April 28th, 29th, and 30th event, then you can come to the next one. Okay, you can come to the next one. And so, but I'm a big fan of like money loves speed. Like if you can get in at the end of this month, that means if it takes you 30 or 45 days to learn it and complete the list build, that means that you are in the money at that point, right? And so if you wait, then you're just saying that money isn't as much of a priority right now. This is, and that's okay. Maybe somebody's getting married, maybe somebody's giving birth, maybe like something's going on there. But if money is a priority, I'd recommend that we train together at the end of this month. So the business and life is my most exciting package because like I have clients that say I should never sell another business program without enrolling people in my leadership program as well. So you get the list building program, 3 days being training by me. I'm the actual trainer. My coaching staff is in there. Everybody's in there. I do every step of the list building with you. You actually do it in the workshop. So it's not like you train it and then you go study it later. You're going to do it with me in the 3-day workshop, right? But I'm going to bundle in my full HCL program, which is my leadership program. So get this, in the leadership program, there's a 3-day vision workshop. So think about if you've ever done a 3-day like workshop, what did it cost you? Go in the chat. It probably cost you $5,000, $3,000, $7,500. Most people that are training full trainings, it's about that price for a 3-day workshop. We price everything at HeartCore for volume, what that means is we're trying to help more people, and through helping more people, we create more raving fans. Okay, so we're doing that because we want to make a huge, huge impact on the planet, and for some crazy reason, I believe I can do it. And so we price this workshop at $1,000. With this workshop, so it's 3-day vision workshop. Then it's a 4-day breakthrough. So imagine vision. Imagine there's like an egg around you, and we're cracking holes in the egg. So now think in your life, where's an area of your life that you feel stuck in? Well, vision like lets you break through and look at, oh my God, I see what I could do now. I see what I could do in my relationship. I see what I could do in my fitness. I see what I could do around making money. I actually see that I have hope again. There is another way that like I'm no longer sitting there confused. That's what vision does for you. But that doesn't mean you actually close the gap to results. So breakthrough shatters that egg. It shatters all those walls. So there's nothing stopping you from reaching what it is that you want. The proof is in the pudding. My last 4 classes now, 100% of our people who did the leadership training, they actually pick a goal. And they pick that goal, and after they've done vision and breakthrough, they go into practice, which is 3 months of coaching where we take the breakthrough and the vision training and we put it into action. And you choose what it is that you want to create in your life in 90 days. And I am telling you, people make more income. This is not an income claim again, but they make more income than they make in an entire year inside of 90 days. We see people who literally don't even have a girlfriend or a boyfriend declare, I'm going to meet my husband or my wife, and they do it in those 90 days. Again, is it really that these techniques or these things these programs you've done, is it really true they don't work? Or are you the common denominator that's leading all of this? Well, you're the common denominator that's leading it. And I'm going to tell you that when I see people go through our leadership program, our HCL leadership program, they get their results. They pick big goals, and after doing vision and breakthrough, they create them. Before I owned this program, I went through the program and somebody else owned it. I did over $100 million in sales in 15 months. I've never done anything like that in my life. If it wasn't for this program, before I owned it, I sent over 144 of my clients through it. Before I owned it, somebody else owned it. That's how important it is. I sent over 144 of my clients through it inside of a couple months, and it was epic to see the results. My husband and I would not be married if he didn't do this program. Now he has a huge stand behind this program, and he runs that division inside of our company. So this entire workshop, the HeartCore Leadership Workshop, is vision, breakthrough, and practice. This is not a business workshop. It is you working on you, the engine that follows through to create the results. In fact, if you're stuck in a job right now and you're not getting a promotion or you're getting replaced, guess what it's about? Leadership. If you're not making the money that you want to make, it's not because your talents are lacking, it's because your leadership. And so you've got to close the gap on your leadership because the most talented are not at the top. So if you want to be at the top and you trust yourself because you're a good person, it is your responsibility to develop your leadership. So this is my favorite package, obviously, where I'll train you how to build the leads and the buyers live. I'll give you the home study program, and I'll give you my entire $5,000 workshop called HCL, which is HeartCore Leadership. in the business and life program. So plus you get 2 tickets to Zone event, but you get 2 VIP tickets to Zone event. What does that mean? That means that when we announce our live 3-day Zone event, which is epic, there is a VIP ticket. With the VIP ticket, it means that you get to go in early. It means you don't have to stand in the lines. Barry would tell you we have thousands of people at this event. I'm sure we're going to have even more than we've ever had at this event because of the fact that people are itching to get back together. So VIP means that you just don't have to stand in any of the chaos that everybody else. So the best seller, the business admission ticket, is the workshop, 2 general admission tickets, plus List Power Home Study Program. That's the business admission. If you want the business and life, you get all of that, plus you get VIP tickets to Zone, plus you get my entire HCL workshop and all my coaches that go with it. Plus you also get lifetime access to the list building program, which means that timing is not an issue because we got you. And the total value of that is $19,500 or $2,200 today. So you can see at the bottom, you can go to joinlistpower.com, joinlistpower.com, and you can actually access the page to take action on this. Okay, so here, let me just compare this so that you can see the 2 offers really clearly. I think this is the best way to do it. The 3-day intensive is in the 3-day me teaching you intensive is in both packages. Just to make this clear, the Zone event tickets, you get 2 general admission tickets in the business package. You get 2 VIP tickets in the business and life package. You get lifetime access to the home study program in both. List building is critically important for both, okay? You got no buyers, you got no business. You get, oh, this was not supposed to be in there yet. We are gifting you something that is on this page that is not supposed to be on here yet. Okay, so the cat's out of the bag with this. Jeff Walker is actually going to be coming in training, and he's actually going to throw in a ticket to his seed launch training, which you don't know what this is yet. I'm going to kill you, buddy. That was going to be a big surprise that we were going to announce. But anyway, he is going to gift you a workshop that he does for $2,000 that it took a lot for him actually to even get behind this because he's never, ever gifted it before. And so he's going to actually give this with both of these packages. Is there any more surprises on this sheet? Okay, so I'm going to just actually pop off this. So you're also going to get Barry's workshop. Yeah, I'm going to take this off because you guys, I love you. And you are not supposed to see all of that yet. Darn it. I love breakdowns in front of you. Okay, so here's the thing. I'm going to get you guys to drop the links in the chats because I want to, first of all, everybody who takes action today, anything that I add to the pot, and this is one of the things that we'll share with you because tomorrow I'll add a couple things to the pot. You will get all of that, right? So you'll get all of that. But there is a huge power to taking action now. There is a program I can think of in my head right now that I wanted to take action on, and the doors closed on it, and I didn't get that opportunity. I never make the same offer twice, ever, 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 ever. And if you've got $2,200 for the life and business option, you can also, there's a 3-pay as well. If you need a payment plan, you need support, then you can do the 3-pay on the page, joinlistpower.com, right? Joinlistpower.com. So you can, if you take the life and business, which is what I would recommend. I mean, I would massively recommend that package because after the revenue challenge or after the next couple of days, if you go there now, if you go to heartcoreleadership.com, you're going to see a very general page that is set up, and it's a $5,000 admission, right? So we're not to the general public, not in this revenue challenge. They are still, joining the program at the regular price. You are here at the right opportunity with the right network, the right people, and you're also getting Barry's program as well. And yes, we're going to be throwing in Jeff's as well. Jeff Walker, he's amazing. So he's coming next. But my conversation that I would have with myself is, how often have you been trying to build a business and you don't have enough people to talk to, so your sales don't get better, or you don't even know if you're launching the right product or service because you're offering it or creating it out of your mind versus out of it asking your audience or the people, what is it that they need and want? I mean, I had a guy, I was telling us to VIP, I had a guy that literally has been in the hormone business forever. And it doesn't matter if you're a real estate agent or you're a therapist or you're a doctor, or you're a chiropractor, you're a coach, you're a consultant, or you're network marketing. I think we're actually in the process of wanting to license our list building program to network marketing companies, because there's nothing worse than your friends and family running away from you because you keep pitching the wrong people. I want to put the right people in front of you so that you can actually invite the right people into your company. There's nothing worse than that, but there's also nothing worse than creating a product and nobody knows about it. And the truth is you don't create products out of your mind. You create products based on what your audience wants. So my doctor that has a hormone company said to me, I know my customer and client really well. And I said, but do you know their emotions right now? Because people buy off of emotions. So if you don't control your audience, do you guys get what I'm saying right now? If you don't control your audience in the essence of you can't go out to them, and I don't mean social media, because I love to present on social media. I like to sell through email. Do you hear what I'm saying? I like to sell through email, because email, I can control my subject line if you're going to open it. I can control my ability to text message you. I can control my ability to follow up with you. On social media, I can't. And if you've ever seen the spamming happening in the direct inboxes, people are not open to it. Okay, so I like people to pull forward for you, that raise their hand, that actually want to work with you. And through the right program at a glance, through the right hooks and offering, through the right tweaking your offers, through asking your audience, when we have the audience, everything else comes together. But the truth is if you're scared, or if you're lacking any sort of confidence anywhere, or if you feel exhausted, or if you feel overwhelmed or frustrated, then those are all indicators that you've hit your level of leadership. And so a tactic without really good leadership falls flat. So that's why I'm really encouraging you to take the life business offer. But if you can't right now, at least get into the business offer so I can show you how to build a buyer's list. All right, you guys, we're going to come to a completion. So go to Join List Power now, or listpower.com. I will see you inside the Facebook group. And just so you know, tomorrow, what are we giving away? What are we giving away tomorrow? Peloton. We're going to give away a Peloton tomorrow morning. So I want to see people active in the Facebook group. I want to see you guys encouraging people, encouraging each other to take action on their life and their business. So I want to see videos. I want to see posts. I want to see people acknowledging each other. I want to see who are my legacy leaders in here, right? Who are the people who are making a difference for each other? So like Kalina, if I'm like, hey girl, believe in yourself. You did a post that you say, I want to jump into, list power, but I'm nervous, or I want to grab the life business. I need some people, like some of you guys just ask for support in that group. I need somebody to talk to me. I need somebody to empower me. Go in the group and empower people up, because you know what the crabs do in a bucket, right? When you got somebody in your life that every time you try and go that next level, they're pulling you down, right? The crabs, we all got them. We all got them in our life. And so let's be the community that rises each other up. There's so many things I never would have done in my life if it wasn't for positive, powerful legacy leaders that I hang out with, like Barry, and vice versa, Barry and myself. So, and Jeff Walker and Suzanne Evans and, Russell Brunson and all of us, we all have a community of people who push us up that say, yes, you can. Not, I don't have enough, or it's not the right timing. That's all just a leadership block. That's why I'm encouraging you on the leadership and the business life package. All right, you guys, I'll see you tomorrow morning, where tomorrow morning we will be giving away a Peloton. Talk to you soon.